Welcome to the final whistle. It's me, Matt Cadell. It's Tuesday, another edition of the final whistle. You know, we got the all-star panel. To my left, I got Mr. Ty Hayes. Ty, how are you doing today?
Man, good as always. Anytime I can come on here, it's a blessing. Thank y'all for extending the invite.
We're glad to have you. And, you know, we got the one and only Coach Smooth. Coach Smooth, how you doing, brother?
Roll Tide, baby. I'm amped up. Let's get it.
Roll Tide. And back from his OnlyFans excursion, final whistle, Dan. How was that excursion, Dan?
Oh, very successful.
Very successful.
Roll Tide, man.
Roll Tide. Okay.
I heard you had a lot of meet and greets afterwards. Did you wash your hands?
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Slippery.
2 minutes,
man. We're not even in 2 minutes.
Not even 2 minutes.
That's what she said. All right.
and his partner is crime, Dan's big brother, the one and only 3-2 in your heart, but Chris James, as we know. Chris, how you doing, brother?
What's up, man? What's up, fellas?
And ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working man in Bama for the Bama Standard, the one and only Justin Riley.
What's up? Bama Nation acknowledgement.
I love it. So we're glad everybody's here. We're going to get these started. We're going to try to shift. We're going to talk about basketball. We're going to talk about Charles Bediako staying in the draft. I give my initial thoughts. You know, he's a big, these owners probably like, hey, you're looking at, Anthony Davis and Embiid, all those guys. He could have came back a year or left, but it don't matter to me. I want to get your thoughts, Chris, hearing about Charles Bediako staying in the NBA draft.
Well, first off, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's go, everybody. Hit that like and subscribe button. Get on the phone right now or text and call. Share the link. Tell them we're live, baby. Let's hop on. Well, first off, last night it was kind of surprising to get it kind of late that Charles decided to stay in the draft. It was like a gut punch because I was expecting him to come back next year to team up with Nick Pringle down low to form, a nice 1-2 off the bench. With Pringle coming off the bench, duo down low. So now, not only are we looking for a stretch 4, we're looking for another big that can play starter minutes because we all know that Pringle is susceptible into getting into foul trouble. So right now he's the only true center we have on the roster. So we have to find. It sucks now that we didn't. I don't think we went after Hunter Dickinson hard. He ended up at Kansas. So it would have been great to get somebody like him. But now we're scrambling trying to find 2 bigs. And another 3. Actually, we're looking for another wing because Jaquan Walton, he ended up committing to UCF after he was released. Well, not released after Bama Port that rescinded their scholarship offer to him. So now we're looking for a 3, a 4, and a 5 that can play, starter minutes. So we still have some work to do in the portal. And I think right now, if you're looking at what we have right now, that kind of knocks us down out of the top 10, maybe top 15 range. I still think we're good because of our guards. Those 2 guards we picked up, which was key. And we're also waiting on Quinterly, his decision. If he comes back, that would be huge also. We'll be good, really solid at guard. But now it looks like we're going to be dependent on a lot of younger guys to play that's coming in to play down low or, to play that stretch 4 position. So I'm excited to see what Coach Oates, usually he doesn't get blindsided. So I'm pretty sure he has a plan, a contingency plan in place for that to see what's, for Bediako leaving. So I'm excited to see, where this thing goes over the next couple of weeks before summer 1 kicks off. Dan?
I, for one, I can't say that I was shocked by this move. Bediako, the player, he's a high commodity in the NBA. His game to me is equivalent to Clint Capella of the Hawks. You know, he plays defense, block shot, protects the rim, catch lob. That's basically his offense. You know, they're pretty much the similar players. You know, so it was no surprise that he stayed in the draft. I just thought that, you know, maybe we should have, you know, earlier, you know, went after a big man, you know, but definitely, you know, Pringle is definitely foul prone, you know, so I think, you know, we should get, you know, be looking for a big that can stretch the floor. We don't need another paint clogger, you know, with Pringle. Just want a big that can stretch the floor and body up guys on the inside. You know, that's what we definitely need to be looking for.
Justin?
Right.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say I'm a big Charles Bediako fan. I was really excited about his development this year and how he transcended from year one to year two. So much growth, so much potential, high ceiling. I really liked his development and related to Chuck Davis, what we saw when he made that great tournament run back in the day. We got to the Elite Eight. I think he's a powerful guy. I think he's got tremendous potential, but I just don't think it was his time yet. I think that he needed one more season of growth and fine-tuning his craft and to really up his game to where he could be a surefire first-round guy. I don't know if he's a first-round guy right now. I think he's going to be a second round, may even go later than that as an undrafted free agent. I just don't think it was a wise decision. But then again, we are in a day and age where it's encouraged. You have a little bit of success, automatically that means to them, let's jump, let's go ahead and make our move now. Let's get that bag. Let's get our NBA dreams started right now. I just wish that someone maybe would have spent some extra time advising him. And if they did, were the people advising him the right people? I would like to have had Kennedy Winston talk to him before making that decision, because he's a guy that had a similar situation, had all the potential in the world. He was fed all this and that by his agent, and it didn't go as planned. He went undrafted, ended up playing overseas. He had a great career overseas, not to take away from that. But I just feel that Bediako would have been better served just coming back for one more season and just polishing things up a little bit, maybe gain some more weight, and then come the draft next year would have been an even hotter commodity. Coach Smook.
Coach Smook.
So I'm right there along the lines with Dan. I think Bediako doesn't the pressures of him coming in and playing early is not there. But he is going to I feel like organization is definitely going to look at him, and a lot of organizations are going to look at him because of the reasons that Dan mentioned. You know, his ability to get up and down the floor, his offensive skill set, his pick and roll, his play in the pick and roll game is you know, top tier. When you talk about the talent that's coming out of this class into this draft class, I'm not saying he's like the number 2 guy, number 3 guy, but he could definitely be a 7 or 8 man guy on your 10-man rotation or your 9-man rotation. He could definitely come in and give you early energy minutes young in his career. And I think in this day and age, like you were saying, Justin, guys are chasing the bag because you know, it's not needed to be in the NBA to have a wealthy career in basketball anymore. If you look at the amount of leagues that are just on the up and up, they're majority overseas, and you see a lot of high school kids now that are really considering taking the overseas professional route for 2 or 3 years, just like Melo did. We saw it happen with Melo. So I think this is a good thing for Bediako. I don't think it's so bad for Bama because of who Nate Oates is and what he does in recruiting. And it also opens up for us to get back to his playing style. I think Nate Oates thrives on the 4-high type style offense, you know, creating motion off the 4-high sets in the half court style set. So you know, go out, get you a couple 6'8", 6'9" guys, 6'7", you know, 1 or 2 of those guys that can stretch. They don't necessarily have to be big men that, you know, stuck in the post all the time, but got high energy guys, you know, maybe a 3-and-D guy, a 3-and-D specialist that you know, can really contribute on offense, but really his focal point is defense. Like I feel like that's what we were kind of slacking, you know, this past year. Somebody that just committed to defense, but didn't take away from our offense. So we had guys that would be up and down, but you can get a guy like that can be consistent. It works out. But I'm happy for Bediako. I don't think he was advised wrong or anything. I think he if he came back, he probably would have had a little bit more stock, but he also risked injury coming back. You know, he plays in a physical league in SEC basketball. Yes, it's a physical league. We see it every year. So, yeah, it's one of those things where you hate it for your team as a fan, but you could see the upside on the business side for him, and ultimately that's what we want for these guys that come through the university. We want them to maximize what they could do at the next level. So I'm happy for the guy.
Boys, I'm sorry to disappoint. I know so little of ever since I started the college football channel. The only other sport I watch, I haven't even watched the NFL because by the time Sunday comes around, that's all I have time to watch.
Right.
I get done watching the games. Now I'm doing I have no idea what the NBA draft looks like. I don't know the order. I don't know the players in it. So I don't really know that I have much to. If it's not boxing, UFC, or college football, I don't watch it too much anymore. I just so busy.
Lomachenko won Saturday, by the way.
I know. He didn't, but
he should have won. He got my vote.
Nice. No, I was a little bit surprised from the little bit I know, just because, and like I said, I don't have a great base of knowledge to go off of. Bediako always seemed like one of those guys that hadn't ever hit the ceiling yet. Like super talented, but it never looked like it had all come together yet. And the only thing I do just think about the NBA is we talk about a quick turnaround in the NFL. They chew you up and spit you out in the NBA like it's going out of style. I mean, cats are lucky if they get 2 years in the NBA before they're in the G League or in China or in Europe or Slovakia. Like, the NBA is just a different time. So I was a little surprised to see him stay in the draft and not have that development. But I think Smook, Justin, you guys hit the nail on the head. I think that's indicative of where we are. I mean, we're in a time right now where guys are looking at how they can go overseas instead of playing a year in college basketball because they can instantly get the bag. They can chase that bag initially and then go straight to the draft. So I wish I knew more. I'm going to get to a point, I promise, where I'm going to be much more in tune again with the NFL, with the NBA, because I used to watch everything just like obsessively, and now it's just college football obsessively. But I was surprised that he stayed in the draft.
I need Coach Oates to go to Europe and find Jokic's nephew or somebody like that. The void for Charles Bediako. So enough about that basketball talk. You know what we're here about. It's the final Wilson.
Wow, we got some breaking news here.
Breaking news.
The mule died down at Auburn, and now driver's ed and sex ed will be canceled until it's replaced.
I love that.
I love it.
Hey, hold on. Nah, that deserved this right here. He's right here. Dude, that was deep right there.
That's hilarious.
Tragic.
I wonder what they use for a track there. A cow and a plow or what?
Cow and a plow, baby.
A donkey.
The barners.
A mule and a plow, yeah.
Jack A.
Just make sure they don't video things down there is what I've heard.
No cell phones allowed.
He's starting already, Justin. It's not even 9:30 yet.
I know, right? Overachievers, I like it. But listen, one of the first points of order here is something that fans have been watching like crazy, and they have even started their own countdown. And what countdown are we talking about? If you don't know, then you're not really a fan, are you? Richard Young will be hitting campus soon. This guy's coming in with a lot of hype, maybe similar to what Najee Harris had coming in. And now it's up to us to discuss with him coming in, as excited as we are and as talented as that running back room is right now, where does he fit in? What impact is he going to have? When is he going to be able to make that impact? And also, more importantly, is he willing to wait? Let's start things out with Dan's big brother and then work our way around.
Yeah, man. I think with Richard Young, the number one question towards his the path of his playing time will be pass pro. You're not going to play football for Nick Saban at the running back position if you cannot pass protect. If he's up to par pass pro, It's gonna be mighty hard to keep him off the field because that kid has the goods, man. I know he has a lot in front of him, and I don't expect him, unless injuries occur, to be like, the savior year one. But he'll be a guy that'll play early. But if pass pro's up the par, man, he'll play because that kid has the goods, man. And at one point he was rated as the top for a long time. He was rated as the top back in the country. Until he became a Bama lean, and those services kind of dropped him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another story. But I'm quite excited to see him and where he falls in the pecking order because, man, you gotta understand, man, he has some dogs already on campus. Because I mean, guys like Jam Miller will probably start at 95% of the other schools in the country. He's like our third back right now, fighting for our third back. Roy Dale, Jason's going to, of course, the alpha of that room right now, and Justice Haynes. So, man, I just guess that Nick Saban said that he'll never get caught off guard like he did in 20
ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago, 2 years ago, when we ended up having to move a linebacker and a receiver to running back. He said never again. So he's gonna the comfort is far from bare. And while we're at it, I'm not only him, man, I'm excited about those edge guys that are coming. That'll be on campus too, and Kelly, Pierre. I'm excited, man. I'm elated.
We got a fan that's on a roll, guys. Van Edwards.
That's not the Van Edwards.
Yeah, he's on a roll tonight.
I'm starting my own sports betting website this year, starting with 10-1 odds that Hugh Freeze leaves his playbook in a strip club at least 6 times.
At least 6 times. Wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
Final whistle, Dan. Go ahead, and then we'll head to Coach Smoot, then Ty, and Matt will round us off.
Well, definitely, I feel like pass pro will be key in Richard Young's ability to see early playing time, but more so than that is the ability to pick up the playbook. And me is personally, I don't expect him, not that we have to, to have to play so much this year. I think he's gonna have one of those Jeremiah Miller type moments where he gets on the field and he's gonna have a lot of wow plays, but we're not gonna have to lean on depend on. But he's gonna get into the rotation come season end. That's my expectation for him. I'll keep it short since Chris kept going over about edge guys. We're talking about Richard Young.
Yeah, I keep it short and quick too.
You're out of order, sir. It's Coach Smoot's turn.
Oh, my bad. I thought
you're not out of order. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, bro.
You think because he catches a game-winning touchdown against Arkansas that he can just do whatever he wants to?
I did not say that, guys.
He earned that.
It's your body language that says it, sir.
Only time I did that was on NCAA. So go ahead, Matt.
My bad. I didn't hear him say Coach Smoot. That's my bad. Clean the earwax out my ears. But yeah, I'm gonna be short and sweet. I think he's a great addition to the running back room. I think we do need that depth. I think it's important that these guys. We got a long season. We got a big offensive line. Saban wants to run the ball. Tommy Reese wants to pound the rock. I mean, we're getting back to that Bama RB room depth with, Jacobs, Harris, Bose. I think Bo was on that. I forgot who was all on that team. Just crazy depth, but we're like 5 or 6 deep, and we're going to utilize those guys. And I think it's important that each running back becomes a complete back. McClellan has things to work on. Jam has things to work on. Justice Haynes, the list goes on and on. I think it's important they push each other, get better. And, it's going to evolve. He's going to have time to play. You never know how the rotation works, who's going to be hot. Maybe these 3 guys are up this week or another 3 guys another week. So I think it's important that they continue to develop and be complete backs and, be that type of running back. If we need them to call on to carry the load for a game or two, I think they all have that potential to do that. So I'm excited about having Richard Young. And now to the one and only Coach Smoot, everybody.
Man, go ahead, bro.
I say you hopped over Ty.
That's what I was about to say.
I thought you wanted to go to Smoot. My bad.
I'll go last, bro.
Man,
I swear.
Matt, they just are all on you tonight. Apparently you can do no right.
I know.
I hate to see
No.
you shine. It's a travesty, truly. No, so I'm gonna keep it short because I think y'all said it. Pass protection is king in this circumstance. Alabama does not have an experienced quarterback, right? That they don't have an offensive coordinator that's been there for 2 years. That's why I am so happy Jace comes back, because Jahmyr Gibbs was a chess piece. Let's get one thing understood. I always point back to that Utah State game where Bryce did one little shoulder fake to Jahmyr Gibbs as he went out in the left flat. The safety bit, and he just hit a receiver. I think it was Ja'Cory Brooks for a 15-yard easy pitch and catch first down, showing you Jahmyr Gibbs is somebody you got to worry about whenever he doesn't have the ball in his hands. He's going to attract people. But the reason why I'm so excited Jace is still there, Jahmyr was incredible. He got taken out of a game because he blew a blocking assignment.
Yes. I was
Ole
Miss, and they put in Jace. I'm a little bit biased. Jace played his high school football a hop, skip, and a jump away from where I currently sit, Alito. I remember he and
Alito,
JoJo
bro.
Earl at Alito. You want to talk about what should have been a video game?
Yes.
Watching those two dunk on cats in high Texas football, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous to watch. Richard Young, I think, has an ability to contribute for this reason right here. Last year, Tommy Rees had 3 running backs that touched the ball over 100 times. 3. When I look at Alabama this year, I just set up this to go in that direction. You don't have an experienced quarterback. You don't have an offensive coordinator that knows the wide receivers, that knows the offensive line coach, that knows the tendencies of this team. So what do? Great running back play, great tight end play. New quarterback's best friend. A lot of solid running backs, gentlemen. A lot of them. I think Richard Young competes. One of the favorite things, then I'm going to pass it to Smook. Whenever you have a guy see another dude commit at their position, you have someone a little bit different. It's one thing for a linebacker to have 2 blue chip linebackers come in because there's multiple linebackers on the field. There's multiple. A lot of the times, how many? I mean, I'm not saying it's rare for Bama to be in 12 personnel, but it's certainly not the normal. For you to have 2 running backs that were 5-star caliber, not be scared of the other, that shows you these 2 cats' mentality is different, let alone their athletic ability. Their mentality is different. I think that's what's so compelling about it.
And I'm glad you ended with that, because that's one thing that was in question about Richard Young. His ability to have the mentality. You get what I'm saying? Like it was one of those things where you knew that he was going to commit. You knew that Bama was his go-to because of the exposure the running backs at Bama get. You know, he could have went Georgia, he could have went LSU, but he chose Bama. He saw that offensive line, that class of offensive linemen that was coming ahead of him, the class that was coming in with him. That part of it was unquestionable. But Richard Young showing up and understanding that he doesn't have to force himself into being the guy, I think that helps even with Justice Haynes. That gives you more room to just work and improve, knowing that you're not the guy. You're not the guy right now. And these guys understand that. But you know you have the ability to be ready. And you got a guy like Justice Haynes. You got a guy like Richard Young. You got Jam Miller. All 3 of those guys can beat our 3 backs. They can be our 3 backs for this year, and we will be just fine. We will be just fine. But you have a guy in Jace McClellan who pass pro, textbook. Roydell Williams, pass pro, the most aggressive pass protecting running back we got. I don't know if y'all remember against Tennessee. It was probably
I think someone down.
Yeah, I mean just took him out in the hole, like a linebacker coming full speed on the linebacker blitz, and his ability to blow that up and create more chaos in that middle to buy Bryce that much time, it just shows you his value. So I don't think Richard Young comes in and gets a lot of snaps, but I do see games where second and third quarter, because our offense is that proficient because of the way we're running the offense. Not saying we're going to be 30-point, 35-point first half scoring offense, but we're going to have an offense to the style of where third quarter, if we're up by 21, we're running the ball, handing the ball off 80% of the plays that we're calling. Let's get these second, third string, fourth string, fifth string, sixth string running backs in with our second and third string tight ends, get them blocking, get our second string linemen in, I feel like that's gonna be that type of year. And we had a comment in the chat. It goes back. It reminds me of them days when we had when Kamara, Tenpenny, all those guys had to leave the next year because of how many running backs we had in the running back room. And then I think Najee Harris came after the end. So they seen Najee come in. They was like, nah, we got to go. We got to go. So, yeah, I feel like we got that type of energy right now in this running back room. And like you said, Ty, that running back and tight end room, they're going to carry us through the first 4 or 5 games of this season. Because I think our wide receivers, because of last year, nobody's going to commit to our wide receivers. Everybody's going to think they could play man with our wide receivers. And that ain't the case. We got some dogs out there, bro. But these running backs, they're going to set the tone for our offense.
Hey, remember, it was what Derrick Henry did in that Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma that sent them packing.
Yes. And I think that's what's going to happen with Justin. Justin's going to send Luckily, Jace and Roydell are going to the draft next year. That's the good thing.
Both of them are gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's worked out time frame wise to where it can sustain.
Yes.
And I think I was going to say this. I think another thing, we're getting back to having that SEC RB, Bama RB room depth, and it's able to keep guys fresh. You know, once they go to the league, Jason McClellan won't have a lot of wear and tear. You know, you look at Josh Jacobs, like he did not have a lot of wear and tear. Najee didn't have a lot of wear and tear. So we have so much depth where we don't have to rely on one horse. So I just want to say that. I'm
telling you how crazy it is. It's crazy that you have a guy like Emmanuel Henderson.
Right.
That's a stud. That's basically an Eric Dickerson running the ball.
And he got to move the receiver. Right.
Well, Kendrick Law as well.
Kendrick Law played running back. That's what I was about to say. And that's what I love about how this works out for our personnel, because you think about putting Kendrick Law and Emmanuel Henderson on the field, and you got Jace McClellan and Roydell in the backfield, or Justice in the backfield, like speed sweep, jet sweep, triple option, RPO, all that is active because you got 3 physical guys who have that physical mentality on the field. Even if they don't get the ball, you know they're gonna get some good blocks. They're gonna pass throw in the edges. They gonna it's nasty right now. We got so many possibilities, y'all.
Yeah. It's good when we're not pitching it around 55 times a game, you know.
Well, I want Alabama fans to understand that the Julius murder ball that we've become spoiled with may not be present this season. We're going to go back to bully ball, and what that means is we might not bully you on the school board, so to speak, but we're going to bully you physically, and we're going to bully you in time of possession. We're going to wear you down, and those guys are going to hit you in the mouth. And for the first 3 or 4 games, I feel like you're going to get a heavy dose of that. But then by game 4, game 5, after being beaten up physically by these backs, all of a sudden the wide receivers are going to come alive. And these guys who are coming up close to the line because they were worried about the running game are going to be leaving these wide receivers wide open. It's kind of similar back in 2014. We started out that way, and then Blake Sims said, hey, it's time to go fast.
Over top.
Let's do that. Florida game came around. What happened? Man, the air show started headlined by Kenyon Drake.
And Cooper,
again, and Amari Cooper. Things did not slow down after that. Right. So I want fans to not get a little anxious. You know what we tend to do, folks. Calm down, breathe. Let's go back to the ground and pound, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, knocking people's blocks off. Then we'll get what we want with these wide receivers that these gentlemen on this panel just mentioned to it.
Bold prediction right now. Through the first 4 games, rushing, Alabama averages more than 4 yards a carry. Team. Oh, yeah. Not one person.
That's not a bold prediction.
Bro, no, because if you go look at last year, first 4 games, we only averaged 2.6 yards a carry. Yeah. Going against Ole Miss. This year, I'm gonna take it up. I say team-wise, we average 6 yards a carry. I mean, I feel like our guys in the backfield, you talking about from top to bottom, and I'm gonna say my first 3 off the bench. You got Jace starting. I think Roydell gets the 2. Justice right behind Roydell, and Jam and Justice are kind of like splitting those 3 reps. All 3 of those guys, fresh legs, they're breaking at least a 12 to 15 yarder on their. I mean, a good clean blocking scheme. with the linemen we got, oh my God, this is gonna be a crazy year for our rushing. And then, like you said, Justin, week 5, week 6, Texas gonna hurt. I think we're gonna blow Texas out harder than a lot more than what people feeling like we're gonna be able to do because of last year. But the run game gonna expose Texas this year.
And I want to say this: we're getting back to dictating the game. You know, we are going to be, instead of us playing, oh, what are they going to do? No, we're going to line up and we're going to set the tone for the game. We're going to set the pace. You're going to have to adjust to that, adjust to us instead of us having to adjust to you. I think that's how Saban wants to play bully ball offensively and defensively. So that's
proactive instead of reactive. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, is there a possibility that we take some snaps from under center?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Tommy Reese, go, Chris. I know you already been doing it. Ty, you already been talking about it. Go look at Tommy Reese, how he mixes up formations with the smallest little things. I mean, he like
his use of 11 and 12 personnel against Clemson. If I could recommend anybody start a film study anywhere, go watch the Clemson game and watch the intricacies of how he switches up his motions in between his 11 and 12 personnel sets. Dunked on there. They had no idea what was up, what was down, and nothing was inherently complicated.
Nothing.
It was all just logical.
Alignment is big with Tommy Reese. That's one thing I give him so much credit for. And a lot of people look at play, like how offensive coordinators draw up routes and stuff. I look at alignment and what it causes the defense to do. Tommy Reese knows how to create situations where the leverage is uneven for defenses. So he takes that 12 personnel and he might offset his H-back or put his H-back on the line to make him eligible. And the tight end it causes the defensive end and the outside linebacker to be in confusion. So that gives you 8 to 12 yards of extra space to work with in those curl and flat areas where they're still trying to decipher who's coming out, or are they pulling the block, or is he like the screen game is going to be re-implemented. I have so much faith and confidence in the way this is set up with our staff and the scheme and the mind of Tommy Reese with our offense. I have so much confidence in this year. Like one of the comments said, we're going to average over 200, 250 yards of rushing this year because of the type of backs we have. Gave me the man.
This is a great topic, and we've allowed it to take up a lot of time. We could definitely keep dissecting, but we got a lot more to unpack. One of those things is we got some great news here recently from the 2024 recruiting class. Jeremiah Beaman, a guy who's drawn comparison to Quinnen Williams. Man, that's a strong praise right there. Has committed to the Crimson Tide. Fellas, let's go ahead and talk about him. What do Bama fans need to be excited? Why do they need to be excited? More like it. I'll start out with Ty Hayes, who watches these things very closely. Then we'll go up to Chris and Dan, and then we'll hopscotch Matt to Coach Smith.
I'll end it.
You know, I said this last week, and I've always said this about my content. If you listen closely, there are themes. Almost every week has a different theme, and it's whatever thought process has gone through my mind. The past week has been boring. And I say that because I've come to a realization through the past week that boring can be very good. I say that because when I watch Beaman, I can tell y'all about all the things that really flash off the tape and are going to excite everybody. But I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people are going to find boring that stood out to me. And instantly I was like, this is different. Guys, how many times have we seen a cat that ranks in the top 200 prospects in the nation have the gap discipline that Beaman displays on a play-in, play-out level? This is a dude that has the athletic ability to go and run down the play. Ran track, dunks the basketball, ran relays, for God's sake. I'm watching the games, and he's being told, set the edge. How many times have we watched a 5-star guy set the edge halfway and then they go and pursue the play? The reverse comes and they get it because they have the athletic ability. We all know on this panel, whenever the college game comes, if they did that same play, that reverse would have gone right over the top of their head. They would have completely failed the play. Beaman's, for him to be in high school, for him to be a junior and have the level of gap discipline he had, was insane to me. That was something that instantly stood out. I had a few things I'd written down, but the gap discipline was one that I kept coming back to. That mixed with his versatility, the fact that I watched him understand gap discipline, interior and exterior. He's a very smart player, a very smart player.
The first thing that stood out to me was his playmaking ability, man. The guy's so slippery. He's just around the ball. One thing about it, like Matt will tell you, it's something about guys that are always around the ball making plays. Who was that? That was Roman. Back when we played Matt, Roman Harper was around the ball a lot. Yep. Pepper was around the ball a lot. Guys like Minka Fitzpatrick. They just Vinny Sincere, Eddie Jackson. The guy has a knack for the ball. He knows how to find a ball and
Boost.
This segment brought you by Boost Mobile.
Right there.
Cricket Wireless. Dan?
Well, two things that jumps off chart with me when we talk about Jeremiah Beaman. One is his athleticism, like y'all discussed already. The number two thing is length. I like his frame. I really love his frame. He's 6'4.5", 270. That's a kind of the guy we've been missing on the last few cycles. He has the frame to add weight. He's an explosive guy. He's a playmaker, and really we should be excited. We get a top 100 guy on the board. Without this is before camp season. We're not even in the camp season yet, and we got a top 100 D lineman in the class. That is huge for Alabama football.
Matt, before you go, I'll add in because I had the other notes. I had freaky athleticism, big motor, and winning off a variety of methods: speed, power, finesse, etc., and gap discipline highlighted and put down about 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a different approach. I know he's super talented, but I look at the cause and effect. From a recruiting standpoint, I think it's important. Coach Saban, he secures Birmingham and he secures the state of Alabama. Kirby's trying to sneak in, creep in the state of Alabama. I think this was an important chess piece to get the dominoes rolling, i.e. Demarcus Riddick, to get the Bama guys, keep them at home. You got coaches like a Kevin Steele, Bala, Freddie Roach, Tommy Reese. You got Coach Saban's got the Avengers now. So now recruiting is coming easily for him. So it's important that he secures the state of Alabama, and I think it's important that Coach Saban secures the state of Georgia as well, picking some guys off of Georgia like he did last year. So I think, Beaman's super talented. You guys already talked about it, but I want to talk about the recruiting impact in the SEC, kind of going back and forth with Kirby, letting them know, listen, big dog, little dog, this is still my state. So, yeah.
Yeah, sir. Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, man. My man, that's why I need an Apple computer, man. It was updating. It just cut off on me. So your computer needs to restart. Crack! In the middle of my comment.
You can't download all those sites, man. You can't download all those. You can't be on the hub like that.
Hey, Dan had this computer before I did.
That mug got all type of viruses on that mug.
They delete them cookies, sir.
Yeah, man. They said they bought it. They said they bought it from Matt in the yard sale. So I don't know, man.
That's a cursed computer.
Hey.
You need to burn it at the stake.
Take as is. Take as
is. You can't put that many X's in your search engine.
He can't type an X or a P in the search bar for fear.
It's over with.
That's why the X is missing off
the keypad.
It's all worn down.
Glue. He got too much glue on this computer.
X and P keys are just stuck in.
The T, the U, the B, and the E are missing too.
Oh
Hey.
my goodness.
Hey, Chris, go touch up on that point you was making about Beaman.
To finish it off, but basically, man, the kid, man, he's so athletic. He's very severely underrated. He's severely underrated, and I'm excited. Like I told Dan, like the Hill kid we just signed in this class right now. I said you pair him with James Smith and Beaman. Oh my God! And you still have young guys like Damon Payne. And man, we have an embarrassment of riches, but people think it's a joke, man. They think that we're down, yada yada yada. But they're gonna realize it, man. Beaman is a huge get. Clemson wanted them bad. Georgia wanted them bad. Auburn wanted them bad. Yeah, they wanted them bad, man. And Tennessee too, wasn't it? Yeah. So he was a huge steal, man. But I just think that the kid is gonna be unblockable, man, in college. I think he's gonna be unblockable. Be another one of those guys that just has a knack for making a big play like Quinnen, because Quinnen was the same way. So I'm just excited. Go ahead, Coach.
Man, the thing is, bro, you gotta think this guy's going to be coming in behind or with last year Jaheim Otis. Guys, come on, man! Like this is crazy. Like you said, Chris, it's an embarrassment of riches. And the thing is, I would love to see this thing unfold to where guys just stay and stick around like they were forced to do. Y'all understand when Alabama had those loaded rosters and guys knew if they left, they had to sit a year. They really considered those consequences of having to sit a whole year and you lose that year. You know, that was the rule. So if we can get guys to kind of have that mindset now, man, you talking about a defense that's loaded 3 deep. I'm talking about a solid 3 deep across every level. The only level we probably get questions at on the third rotation is in the secondary because you just don't have that many guys, you know what I'm saying, that far deep. You got 5 positions to fill in the Alabama's, 3-3-5 type offense, or 3-2-6, whatever we our base offense is. I think we run the base nickel. So, base defense, my fault, base defense. But
if we want to get technical at times, it was a 2-4-6.
2-4-6. That's what I'm saying.
And Will are linebackers.
Yeah, exactly. So you think about the type of guys we're getting, and you talking about the anatomy and the physique of these guys, man. It's like Coach Saban. Do you have like a special indicator seeker for these guys? Because we're getting dudes that just built for the game. You talking about when Kendra Blackshear was in high school? Y'all remember the man-child pose? They had the lady, they was talking about the lady that was like, she was lusting after this 17-year-old kid because
it went viral. I posted it.
Yes.
That's how, man, you connected, Chris. You posted. But yeah, man, it was crazy. It's crazy because you got to think, man, we got guys that's just built for football coming back to Bama. It's no more like that Henry To'oTo'o thing really rubbed me wrong so bad the past 2 years, y'all. That's not a Bama recruiting decision. Kyrie Jackson was a Bama type recruiting decision. He just couldn't handle the big lights. We saw it. We saw his talent on film before he got to Bama, and then when we saw sparks and pieces. But like that whole To'oTo'o recruiting thing was not Bama. You could tell that was a Pete Golden type move. Coach Saban giving Pete a chance. Let's try it. But this year, Kevin Steele in this thing, guys like Beaman committing. They know what Steele is setting them up for. But you got to think. Still probably not going to be the DC when Beaman comes there. It's probably going to be Pruitt. So we know what Pruitt do with D lineman, man. We know what Pruitt do. We know what Pruitt do with special defensive.
Hey, still is no slides with D lineman.
Hey,
Derrick Brown.
Exactly.
Like Derrick Brown.
They even going to keep him on staff.
Oh yeah. How long he stay on, however long he want to coach.
He's more of a Marlon Davidson type.
Yes.
Good comp.
Time is flying by. Let's go to the next topic. Guys, who are we overlooking in 2023? There's a lot of folks out there that just aren't getting the love that they should be getting. Who is right now your top 10 list? Right now, Pro Football Focus don't even have Dallas Turner listed in their top 10 at his position. So I was wondering if he still played football, because you can't obviously have a top 10 list and not include a top 10 player.
Pro Football Focus said Bijan wasn't a top 50 player in college football. That's when they said Will wasn't top 5 at edge, and they said Bijan wasn't a top 50 player in college football. And that's when I almost had a stroke on the spot.
It's crazy.
I smelled toast.
Pro football folks probably got Stetson Bennett had them mock number 1 to Carolina.
It's crazy.
Every now and then, Pro
Makes me
Football
wonder
Focus.
if Rivals is behind that.
Hey, you know what's crazy, fellas? Pro Football Focus. If you look at the panel and the people that feed into that, it's not former players, it's not coaches, it's not ADs, it's not guys that ever did. It's a bunch of people that just like had money to create a revenue. You know what I'm saying? Like a different scouting. But this is crazy because you talking about Bijan Robinson not top 50. I wish
that's crazy. That's crazy.
I had, and Will not top 5.
They had a bunch of monkeys on unicycles and stuff. Like,
Right.
I would have had a problem with him not being top 20.
I made a video and was just like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it's crazy.
But
Well, I'll start us out. Then we'll go to Final Whistle Dan, Matt, Chris, Coach, and then Ty. My guy right off the board is Chris Braswell, a guy who actually came in ready to hire than Will Anderson. And if you watched him at times, he kind of reminds you of Courtney Upshaw, not just because he wears the same number, but I feel like he still has that kind of a ceiling. I think this year, with the right kind of coaches, with a Robert Bala, who just seems to be spitting fire and chewing nails and seems to understand what it means to play to the Bama standard and still that dog mentality. I think Chris Braswell is really going to excel. That's a guy that I'm excited about. Opposite Dallas Turner, they're about to wreck shop. Dan, who you have?
My guy, he kind of got lost in the shuffle. He's going to be Tim Smith. I think he's going to benefit from having Jaheim Otis. We finally get to have 3 big guys on the field. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking Tim Smith as well. Of course, the edge guy going to reap benefits of it, but Tim Smith and if boy be having Jaheim Otis being able to suck up blocks in the linebacker, they're gonna love that. But Tim Smith, I expect him to have a big season.
Man, I can go anywhere with this, but since we're talking about running backs, I'm gonna say Roydell Williams. I think he having Richard Young, Justice Hayes, all of this talent in the running back room, I think it's going to push him to really be like, man, I need to have a big year. And I think he's going to take advantage of every opportunity that he gets on the field. And I think he's going to be a sleeper this year that nobody's talking about. So I'm going to roll with Roydell Williams on that one.
That's a good choice. Chris.
Well, I had Chris Braswell. You took him from me. I'm gonna go with a tight end, Dupree from Maryland.
Yes.
Look at ties.
Tragic.
That dude's a baller, man. I think between either he or Black, one of those guys are gonna have a breakout all SEC type season because like we say, what's a breaking in the new quarterback? What's their best friend? Strong O-line, running game, and tight end. So I think that we're gonna use have a tight end that's going to be an all SEC caliber, and I think it's him because if you watched him at Maryland, that guy was athletic, making plays, man. And I think we're going to scheme him up because I guarantee you when he found out that Reese was going to be our offensive coordinator, he probably did a backflip off the balcony.
Yeah.
Because he probably thought, "Whoa, dog, my catches just went up 25 to 30 more catches." So, yeah. I'm excited about him. I think that he's very, very extremely underrated.
Coach,
yeah, man. Hey, bro, I'm right there with all of y'all, but I'm gonna throw somebody out there that nobody's like. We were really heavy on him when he first got to Bama, and now it's like because he's been what he's expected to be, he's kind of just fell by the wayside, and it's Latham. I'm telling you, bro, he's gonna solidify his first round, and right there along with Latham, Tyler Booker.
Well, I told you last night, Justin.
Hey, that's my
I
guy,
agree
y'all.
with you.
Y'all know I'm a wide receiver. So I love my offensive lineman. My thing is if the offensive lineman block good, I might be able to get jammed up half a second more. You know what I'm saying? And work and get open. So I'm taking those two guys. They're gonna solidify our offensive line, and our offensive line is going to be able. I feel like we're like 7 or 8 deep in the offensive line where guys can just kind of come in and go to any position across the front five and be effective. Not dominate, but be effective to the point where they create holes for our running backs. They create holes. They create time for our quarterbacks. I'm telling y'all guys, whoever our quarterback is by week 4, we're going to have a totally different outlook on this offense. Week 5 coming into week 5 because of how good this offensive line is going to come together. We're just too deep. You're talking about young talent and talent that was young last year that's proven talent as they were young, coming together and having to figure it out. And then you take a guy like Dallencourt and McLaughlin who have the experience, and you tell Dallencourt, hey, you're not the center. Seth McLaughlin is our center. Your only chance to get on this field is play guard. Now, what are you going to do now? So what are you going to do now? Are you going to come out here and go balls to walls and freaking dominate like we know you can and be flexible like we know you can, or are you going to let one of these young guys take you? And I think that makes Dallencourt show, man, why you pull those crazy comments? I'm done. Next.
Man.
I was serious.
He up in Memphis, recruit.
I was serious, man. You gotta go, bro. Man, act like you got some home training sometimes. Like, act like you got some home training. I love Van, bro.
God's mercy.
That's
That's savage.
I love Van, bro.
If they ever start a fantasy stripper team, we know who's going to be coaching. So,
Boy, if there was ever a fantasy stripper league, everybody in college football would be done with Hugh Freeze at Auburn. It's done right now.
We ain't competing.
They in Texas.
Terry ain't playing that. Terry ain't playing that. We ain't competing in that. Miss Terry is not playing that.
No.
Miss Terry put them hands on Coach Saban.
Well, what?
So I have 2 names for you, and one of them has both of them have already been discussed. But my first one is center, Seth. Right? I think that the ping-ponging at center has gone on long enough. Mm-hmm. That is such a key position on your offensive line, right? It just is. We know this to be true. Seth is the guy. Let's move forward with that. I think every time he's played, he's more consistent. That's the big thing. I see the upside with Dalcourt, but Seth is just more consistent. But the guys that I really, if I could spend time doing it, that I would just love to just dive into. Chris, you talk about DePere, and that was right where I was going, was the tight end room. Amari Nyblack and Danny Lewis. Gentlemen, Amari Nyblack, do we remember what Nick Saban said about him when he came and camped? Do y'all remember what the praise Nick Saban laid at his feet? He compared him to an all-time great at wide receiver at Bama. He said if he plays offense, he said if he plays defense, he compared him to an all-time great at edge at Alabama. Yeah. Julio Jones and Will Anderson were the 2 players Nick Saban said. Amari Nyblack is green. We know what Tommy Reese does with the tight end position. And guys, I think we have a guy that nobody in college football is talking about. He could burst on the scene this year in Nyblack with the athletic ability he possesses to be a mismatch, especially if they start running some 12-22 personnel, really getting it create. I think the tight end position, he and Danny Lewis, it could get funky on people real quick. Real quick.
Do we dare say Kyle Pitts?
His ability is so freaky to me. I was just sad he didn't get more play last year, but this year I would be beside myself. If we sit here a year from today and Amari Nyblack does not, I'm going to be beside myself. I might need a little tissue box over here. I'm going to dress in all black. It'll be a wake.
Start listening to Adele.
The only thing holding that from happening, Ty, is honestly injury, bro. Like, for real. Knee Black is that dude, man. Even the Kansas State game, the way that we would split him out in the red zone. I don't know if y'all go back and look at the last 2 drives when we got these guys in the red zone. D Black was the split H guy, 1-on-1 outside with the corner. That's Bill O'Brien setup. But you think You think Tommy Reese not already looking at that? You got this guy. What need like at 6'4"? Is he 6'4"?
He's a mismatch.
You get what I'm saying? Like I don't care. You can put a 6'3" corner out there. You're not stopping 6'4", 240 with wide receiver skill set, bro. It's not possible. 1-on-1, you're gonna have to cheat a corner, and you don't want to cheat a corner, a safety over top to help because you're in the red zone.
Over top.
That's what I'm saying.
It's deep.
It's work, bro. And then you got Dupree. People, and like you said, Dupree is sneaky athletic, guys.
Sneaky good.
This guy's like 36-inch vert. And we laugh about it, but white man can jump. Dupree can jump, bro.
Some of them.
Not Jack Harlow.
Some of them can.
Hey, Dupree can jump, y'all. I don't know if y'all saw paid attention to the spring game, but they pay attention to that guy for a reason.
Hey, Justin can't jump
had to
over.
bell that white man can't jump. He hit the bell quick after that.
Hey, Justin can't jump over a sheet of paper.
Come on now. You know Justin can jump over a sheet of paper.
Just can't jump over a sheet of paper, man.
And
He'll
ladies
trip on
and
the
gentlemen,
lines.
this is officially Chris James' last show.
The Chris James fell where to? No, my brother.
You have officially been canceled.
Yeah.
Before we close out, we like to go to one of our favorite segments because it involves you, the fans. We like to go looking for trolls, and we find some each and every week. And what I mean by trolls is crazy hot takes, usually directed towards Alabama. And this week we got some more. And folks in the audience, we need more interaction from you. I mean, this is something that we want to involve you in. So I expect y'all to start looking and sending things to us, the Bama Standard at gmail.com, so we can feature what you find and mention you by name. Heck, if you found something great, we might even bring you here live to present it. So there's some incentive. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's roll it on out. Dan, you had a great one. Let's go ahead and talk about that, and let's break it down so we can make some people look foolish.
Man, oh man, on 3 Sports tweeted out. This is per ESPN though. Top 10 college football quarterbacks since 2000. I'm gonna read the list off to y'all. Number 1, Baker Mayfield. Number 1.
Oh my God.
Number 2, close your ears, a couple of years, Bama fans, Cam Newton. Number 3.
I'm not bad with Cam Newton.
I can see that.
Cam should probably be number 1.
He took the worst possible Auburn team ever.
Cam should probably be number 1.
Yeah.
Number 3, Vince Young. Number 4,
2.
I don't have an issue with that. Number 4, Tim Tebow, don't have an issue. But way down in number 5, behind Baker Mayfield, who's just clearly above everybody, is Joe Burrow. That way down in number 5.
No, Burrow top 3.
Way down in number 6, Deshaun Watson.
Ooh, that's tough, man.
7, you got Kyler Murray. 8,
What?
yes, Kyler
over
Murray.
Bryce?
Yeah, look who else he's over. 8, you got Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
9, Marcus Mariota. And 10, we haven't gotten to a Bama quarterback yet. And 3 that's in the league, At number 10, we got Robert Griffin III.
Oh my gosh.
So
Now, how many of these guys are currently playing in the NFL? Starting in the NFL?
Lamar.
Not.
We got, let me see, on this list, starting in the NFL now, we got
Lamar
Kyler.
Lamar, Joe.
Baker not starting.
Occasionally.
Joe Burrow. No, Baker's not starting. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
And Kyler.
That's it.
That's
Kyler Murray. Well, Deshaun Watson may be starting, but
Oh yeah, and Watson, of course.
But that's it. 4 of those guys.
But no Trevor Lawrence.
No Trevor
Lawrence came outside the top. He was like number 11 or 12.
That's crazy.
Marcus Mariota though, really?
We went through the top 50 on my live stream right before I came over here. We went through all of them. Yeah, it was
That's
wild.
crazy.
What did they have Bryson Tua rank?
Bryce Young, who'd you say?
What did they have Bryson Tua rank?
Bryce was 19, Tua was 21.
Hold on.
Yeah, they're right behind Stetson Bennett.
On 3
Stetson was
drug
37,
testing right now.
I think. Stetson was
Somebody-
37.
Where was AJ McCarron?
I don't think I got to AJ McCarron to the top 50.
I think Tua Tagovailoa should have an asterisk about his name because you got to look at what he was doing and not even playing a full game. How many games did he play and was taken out in the second half? So, I mean, this is a guy probably could have easily thrown for 5,000 in a season.
Y'all cost him a Heisman. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got a completely different list.
But
my God, Van.
But Mariota and who was 10 again?
RG3.
RG3 and Kyler Murray. But you got Bryce at 19.
let me tell you. All right, so check this out. RG3 at 10. RG3 at 10 is legit. That's RG3 at 10. Now to have Baker Mayfield at 1 is a no-go. If we're gonna put since 2000, the name that's on that list that could move up to replace that, if we want to talk about just since 2000, I would put Vince Young there. He took a Texas team.
Vince Young.
They were loaded though. Texas was loaded.
Yeah, they was loaded, but you had to have a Vince Young to take that team to beat USC. You had to have a Vince Young. You couldn't have did that with no other quarterback that year. Come on, who that year?
So here's the parameters.
Cam would have done the same thing with that team. Tim Tebow would have done the same thing with that team.
Nah.
You want to know why Cam is number 1 for me? He won the national championship with a defense that ranked outside the top 50.
Exactly.
Their defense was not very
Cam
good.
Newton's my number 1, as much as I hate to admit it.
But at number 1, the reason they gave it to Baker, he had 14,600 passing yards, 69% completion, and he broke the record for college football efficiency. I'm just letting you know the reason.
In Big 12.
Hey, I hear you. I'm just giving you the reason they gave.
Is Joe Burrow's success a product of what he did, or more so a product of the fact that Pro Bowl wide receivers and running backs?
But you could say the same thing about Tua.
He doing it.
You could say the thing about Tua though. But he did it with 1 year under a coordinator. You get what I'm saying? Joe Burrows was that guy the first year he came. He just didn't have a coordinator. The moment he got a coordinator in Joe Brady, that guy showed his mental. He showed his mental, and then the skill. Game 3, we started seeing Joe Burrow athletic ability come out because he's sneaky athletic.
He balled out in that bowl game.
He did.
I mean, and Joe Brady just came and took him to another level. So it's all about the coordinators. That's what I'm saying with Milroe and Simpson. I think Buckner's going to travel again and transfer. But Milroe with Reese and Simpson with Reese, this might be crazy, y'all. But yeah, that list is crazy.
So where was CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud was 20.
How?
Over Bryce?
No,
Bryce
was 19. But I'll tell you,
when's the
Andrew Luck
Heisman
is
and he's
before
number
Bryce.
19?
Matt Leinart is before Bryce. Jameis Winston is before Bryce. Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore.
Is Caleb Williams on there?
Johnny Manziel is over there.
No Michael Vick?
I don't know that I got to Michael Vick.
No, it says 2. Was Michael Vick?
He was there. 01 was last year.
Yeah.
So do you all want me to run through this real quick?
Yeah, run through the list real quick.
Okay.
Let's go top.
Speed through it.
11.
I'm going to speed through it real quick. So Baker 1. We got Cam 2, Vince Young 3, Tim Tebow 4, Joe Burrow 5, Deshaun Watson 6, Kyler Murray 7, Lamar Jackson 8, Marcus Mariota 9, Robert Griffin III 10, Trevor Lawrence 11, Colt McCoy 12, Johnny Manziel 13, Kellen Moore 14,
Colt McCoy.
Sam Bradford 15, Jameis Winston 16,
Sam Bradford.
Matt
In the show.
Leinart,
In the
17,
fucking show right now. I'm sorry.
Andrew Luck
Matt
18, 19 is Bryce Young, 20 CJ Stroud, 21 Tua, 22 Phillip Rivers, 23 Carson Palmer, 24 Case Keenum with 19,000 passing yards. Case was throwing for God knows how long in Houston.
What about Kellen Moore?
Why is not higher?
Kellen Moore was already gone. I think he was 14.
Kellen Moore.
Wow.
Kellen Moore was like 14.
I'm
Kellen
not
Moore
mad at that.
threw for hellacious amounts of yards.
I'm not mad at
Jalen
Kellen
Hurts
Moore.
at 25. Russell Wilson at 26, Pat White at 27, Ben Roethlisberger 28, Justin Fields 29, Rex Grossman 30, Colin Kaepernick 31, Jason White 32, Troy Smith 33, 34 Graham Harrell 35, Chase Daniel 36, Ken Dorsey 37, Stetson Bennett 38, Mac Jones 39,
How's Stetson
Landry
Bennett
Jones,
getting the top 50, bro?
40, Alex Smith
You mean that's
41,
his age? His
Colin
age is
Klein.
37.
42 is
No
Colt
hype?
Brennan. 43 is Aaron Murray. 44 is Byron Leftwich. 45 is Eric Crouch. 46 is Brady Quinn. 47, Eli Manning. 48, Kyle Trask. 49, Jordan Lynch. And 50, Denard Robinson.
Shoelace.
That's a shoelace.
A lot of questions, right? Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
What's the LSU quarterback? What's the LSU quarterback that was really good? Was it Mark Flynn? Which one was it?
Matt Flynn. Matt Malkin. So you tell me.
Let me see if
Rohan Davis.
They have Patrick Mahomes at 57. The man threw for 800 yards in a game.
Wow.
He's 57. Okay.
That's crazy.
So you tell me that Phillip Rivers is not any higher than where he's positioned at right now, and he played for an awful team.
At NC State.
No, Eli Manning, dude.
AJ McCarron is 67.
What? Bro. You got cats that really.
But Shoelace is 50. How many teams would have taken Shoelace over AJ?
Boy,
not a single one. You will not find one.
Not find one.
Obviously, On 3 has no clue.
So this is ESPN.
It wasn't On 3. It was ESPN.
It's ESPN.
What's the other Oregon quarterback, the real good one?
Dixon?
Was it Dixon?
Joey
Dixon. Yeah, Dennis Dixon, Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. Yeah, where Justin Herbert at?
Where's Justin Herbert?
Herbert was
not in top 75.
And this time out, squad. Is this just college? It's college, right?
College since 2000. Yeah.
Somebody bad.
So check this out. We talking about college since 2000. Cam Newton's where he needs to be, but you got guys like that did.
Wait a minute. So
Bryce Young. Let's just talk about recently. Bryce Young, not this past year, but the season before this, 2021, right? What he did that year to win the Heisman. You telling me that Baker Mayfield is above that? Baker Mayfield couldn't even win the conference. Baker Mayfield couldn't.
They won the conference.
No. I'm gonna tell you what they did.
They won the conference every year with Baker.
You're on mute, Chris.
You muted, Chris.
No, I said what they did was, yeah, him too. They put his name down.
Yeah.
So what about someone? Oh yeah, I forgot about him too. They put his name.
You remember
down.
Chris James played quarterback?
Yeah. What
about Jameis Winston?
Where's Jameis Winston and Michael Vick?
Michael Vick's not on the list.
What?
But Denard Robinson is.
But
Matt Ryan is 75. Teddy Bridgewater 74. Timmy Chang is 73.
Even Lamar
Matt Ryan was a beast at Boston College.
Exactly.
Matt Ryan's top 30.
Where's Jalen Hurts?
25.
29 or something like that.
25.
Okay.
Brad Smith is 68. Like I said, AJ McCarron 67, 69. David Green 70. Geno Smith 71.
We should have did a show
Brand
on this list. Goddamn.
Yeah, this is what we kicked off.
Aaron Murray? What about Aaron Murray?
He was in the 30s.
Okay, I'm not mad. Murray was a dog though.
Yeah, he was at Georgia. At Georgia,
I still think he's Georgia's
You know
best
who I thought
quarterback.
was a little disrespectful?
Matthew Stafford.
But now, granted, I this is a personal one for me. I grew up watching Eric Crouch, so like I hold Eric Crouch and those Nebraska teams in very high regard. To see him at 45, I was like, and I get it, he didn't have the stats, but like, come on, guys, those Nebraska teams were legit.
They were.
Yeah, man.
If you didn't watch Nebraska football in the early 90s,
I was 4, and I remember.
Fraser.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Chris can tell you that those were my teams.
He used to beat me on the game with him.
Mhm.
What about the quarterback Ken Dorsey? Is he on there?
I don't think so.
I know what happened, guys. ESPN rated Stetson Bennett 37 because they thought
that was his age.
Quarterbacks ranked since 2000 is the ones who were enrolled since 2000. That's what it is.
Crabfish.
Van said James.
They ranked him 37 because he's 37. So they was like,
All right. All right, we got time for one more. Coach, you said you had one. Let's go ahead and roll it out, and then we'll go to our closing segment.
All right, here we go. If Jalen Milroe starts at Alabama goes 5-7.
Who is it from?
This was a statement made.
Said no coach ever.
Huh?
Said no coach ever.
No coach ever said this, but Alabama fan that is well known amongst some of the networks that we watch. Name starts with a W. Gets on my nerves, but I had to bring him to this show. 5-7 with Jalen Milroe.
Call him out. They say something stupid like that. Call him out.
Waylon, my boy Waylon said that. Justin, you know Waylon.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm very aware.
Yeah, so 5-7 with Jalen Milroe. One, I'm not gonna get into the real reason why I thought he was making that statement, but one, Jalen Milroe goes 10-2 last year if Bryce gets hurt first game. with the team and the offensive calling, the play calling that we have, because Jalen Milroe is a winner. Jalen Milroe is a Tim Tebow, a more athletic Tim Tebow. So guys like that, you kind of just live with what they can do, because you know at the end of the day, when it all breaks down, he's going to run that ball and he's going to create some things. He's going to do things off schedule, but you live with it.
Where the hell do you get 7 losses from on the schedule?
Well, on our schedule, that's what I was about to say, Ty. Ty, get out of my head, please.
Hey.
I don't appreciate you being in my head right now. Our schedule doesn't present 7 losses. Even in our conference, we maybe lose with Jalen Milroe. We maybe lose. I'm not thinking about skill sets. I'm talking about coordinators that can probably out scheme us because of these matchups with a quarterback that is not.
Mason Smith.
We know
comes
one.
back
We
for
know
LSU.
one team that won't be able to do it. Ole Miss.
Did you see their spring game? They couldn't stop a wheel route. I was like, that looks familiar.
It's like 52, 53.
Bro, I was like, man, we ain't got to, bro. I'm telling y'all, but yeah, that was my hot pick, y'all. Waylon said that Alabama goes 5-7 with Jalen Milroe at quarterback. But my thing is, and I'm not even talking, I'm not trolling right now. I feel like no matter who Alabama, we talking about the top 4 quarterbacks in competition for the starting job. We're talking about Jalen Milroe being the number 1 right now. You got Ty Simpson being number 2. Tyler Buckner coming in as the new guy taking the number 3. And you got a young guy in Dylan Lonergan. I think he's our number 4 with Eli Holston right there with him. I think with any one of those quarterbacks, Tyler Buckner included, we still can run the table and win the national championship, because all these quarterbacks have the same amount of growth opportunity, the amount of ceiling that can be achieved with Tommy Rees and this style of offense that has to be ran. They're going to get a lot of exposure by doing the simple things, and it's going to be highlighted because it's Alabama. But if you can do the simple things consistently at a high rate, setting them up for success. But that Jalen Milroe take, we sleeping on Milroe, guys.
If we were looking at a team based off of quarterbacks and just automatically judge them, if somebody would have told you back in 2014 that Ohio State would beat Bama with their 3rd string quarterback and roll Oregon in the national championship, how many people would have believed that?
None.
A lot of people would have lost money.
You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand. That's why I don't listen to people. I don't talk football with a lot of people, and it's not because I just think it's just the fact that they say things that really. If you have a good defense, a good O-line, a good running game, like we've seen how many times have we seen a team win a national championship with a quarterback that wasn't as on par talent-wise with the rest of his team? Miami did it. Miami 0-1 Miami.
Ken Dorsey.
0-1 Miami, 0-9 Bama.
Bennett.
No, not a shot at McElroy, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me none of these guys can be Greg McElroy
Or Jake Coker?
I also, Coach, I agree with you on one part and disagree. I think Jalen Milroe is much better suited to be successful this year, because I have a real problem with the offense Bill O'Brien called.
Oh my!
I
God.
have
Man.
he implemented option routes that the NFL uses for college football wide receivers that might
Freshman
not have a
college football
quarterback, the same quarterback for 3 years. That's nonsensical. Our route layering the past 2 years was awful.
Awful.
And you're asking Jalen Milroe to throw Bryce's routes. That's not going to work for anybody. So I actually think we haven't gotten a great representation of who Jalen Milroe is.
Yeah, he wasn't even running.
And no matter how many times you make that point, Ty,
I've made it 1,000 times.
No matter how many times you make that point, you try to drive that point home for whatever reason, these fans, these 85%ers, these 85%ers who don't understand football and collect the T-shirts at Walmart, they're never going to grasp what you're saying. All they're seeing.
Dan said the reason.
Yeah.
Hey, Ty, if you say the reason, I'm gonna go in with my point too, because I feel like we on the same track, bro.
Dan said the reason. I don't have to say it.
And the thing,
in there,
yeah, exactly. Thank you. And Bill O is an NFL coordinator. Bill O can scheme at the NFL level. Guys that have been through the college level, learned and had the maturity time to mature. But you talking about a guy like Jalen Milroe, man, Bill, I guarantee you, if Tommy Rees can get Jalen Milroe to tighten up on and stick with the mechanics That's Jalen Milroe's only problem. The mechanics, setting your feet when you find the read, making sure you're scanning the read. Trust the play design. And the type of design that Tommy Rees is bringing, you're simplifying it for a quarterback that can really, if it breaks down, I don't see Jalen Milroe being a Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Milroe has a better passing ceiling than Jalen Hurts at the college level. I feel like that's where we're at with Jalen Milroe. But even if Jalen Milroe don't pan out, I love Tyler Simpson now. His work he's doing, I'm telling you guys.
I'll make this point, and then we need to start closing up shop. Guys, everybody in the chat that is listening, hear me. And if you don't want to listen to me, don't bring it up again. Just don't. We don't have to have a 4,500-yard passer to win this year. We don't have to sling it around 50 or 60 times a game. We don't have to go with Joel's murder ball this year. We have that heavy run game, that tight end game that's going to carry the load with that badass offensive line. And yes, we will need to occasionally push the ball down the field, but not at the level which are demanding that we do. This is a different look, different coordinator, different system. Get out of your damn funk and pay attention to it. Whoever's at quarterback is going to be just fine.
Right.
Yep.
You gotta
A little bit of joyless murder ball.
With a little bit of it, and that will
bit.
come. It will come in due time. But
dude,
damn, get off of it.
they act like we have a bunch of high school third stringers competing for the quarterback job.
Right.
Like guys that never threw a pass before. Have you seen Jalen Milroe's highlight film? He's very capable. Have you seen Ty Simpson's highlight film? He's baby Aaron Rodgers. Have you seen he was rated? Buck was highly rated.
He was rated higher than Milroe.
Yeah, Buckner was really highly rated.
And that's why I've changed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the first to when I stick my foot in my mouth, I'm the first to come back and be like, yo, I stuck my foot in my mouth. When I saw Tyler Buckner's high school film highlight tape coming to Notre Dame, I was like, okay, this guy can compete. He really can compete.
Yeah.
But honestly,
he didn't have a receiver.
even with that, I still don't think he's better than Ty and Jalen. But if he has to be the guy, I'm not scared. Honestly, 4 deep, like I said earlier, 4 deep at quarterback in the quarterback room. I'm good.
I'm good with whoever they put back there, man, with that offense, that defense, because defense is gonna make it like we have to score 20 to win, 17 to win, 14 to win. Teams are not gonna like Texas. Watch what they do to Texas week 2 in Bryant Denny at night. Oh, it's gonna be tight
with them lights. But
yes, all right.
I may be there.
Justin, you going there? Because I might sacrifice. I might
do
not
show.
pay the light bill. I might not pay the light bill to come to that one.
I'm gonna call in a bomb threat at Dan Job.
Hey! You two will take this thing down if you say that. I'm not kidding. Yeah, I am not kidding. The nerds in the back will all of a sudden slap a
SWAT team about to go in.
I'm just kidding.
It don't matter. If they hear certain phrases, all of a sudden they give us basic monetization and they shut it down.
Oh,
they don't push it out to see for people to see.
Hey,
anyway,
if I did that Dan Job, they'll still be operating.
What he was trying to say, Bomb Threat is the name of his OnlyFans, guys. That's all.
Okay, there we go.
That's it.
Anyway, so it's that time of the show where we go around the room and we tell what our various platforms are, how people can find us, what we got coming up next. We'll start with Final Whistle Dan, then go to Matt, then Ty, then Coach, and then finish things up with Chris.
Oh yeah, I'm last.
You know me, my only relevance is here. Final Whistle, you find me here. You find me on Twitter at Final Whistle Dan. That's the handle.
All right, that's simple enough. Matt.
You know, you can hit me up Mondays, Football University, CTS Sport Room. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's the Final Whistle. And you can hit me up on my OnlyFans up front, hitting the switch spot with Matt Cadell.
Hey, Justin. I got one, Matt. Bump and run.
Chris, I have your new OnlyFans name.
What
is it?
Tickle Me Elroy.
Oh, Elroy be back. He will be back.
He will be back.
Oh, man.
Elroy will be back.
Dear God.
Hayes, how do you follow that up? Tell people how they find you.
I'm stalling, trying to get something to throw into the hat.
I got one more. But blow the whistle.
All right, yeah, I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. You can find me at Around the Table Sports. I just do constant college football content. That's about it.
Coach Smoot.
69 different ways with Ty Hayes.
With Ty Hayes. Clearing the smoke with Ty Hayes.
Through the haze. Yeah.
Through the haze.
Tie me up, Hayes.
Hey, unnecessary roughness with Ty Hayes.
Oh man, y'all can find me on each platform at Coach Smoot, man. And like I said, tonight we're gonna do a late night session. Y'all can find me on YouTube if y'all want to tune in. Road to Bama. We're doing NCAA revamp content. I'm doing comedy. Y'all know I'm a clown, so just pull up your boy Coach Smoot on every platform. I'm gonna probably be making some type of statement that makes you laugh or makes you like question if you really believe what you believe in. But yeah, this is Coach Smoot, man. Find me on every platform. And then, once again, Roll Tide, family. I love the comments, man. I love the people in the chat. Y'all really bring us that energy, man, and y'all keep bringing it every week, fam.
Coach
Man,
Smoot
won tonight.
Coach Smoot OnlyFans tonight. Smash Mouth with Coach Smoot.
Special K with Coach Smoot.
Ties around and under the table.
It's not Roll Tide, it's Roll Thighs.
Roll Thighs, baby.
Another round with Coach Smoot.
I'm about to. Chris.
I'm just gonna start kicking us out of this.
Just booting us out.
The late night Smoot. Hey, late night Smooky. You can find me on Facebook at Chris K. James Sr. On Instagram at CKJ Senior 32 and on Twitter at Coach Chris James. I'll be doing making an appearance on Dan's on Dan's only for Dan's only.
Yeah, get me started. We need the fans to come up with a name for me. You know what I'm saying? Come up with a name for me. I challenge y'all for the next show. Come up with an OnlyFans.
If you tweet more than 3 times in a week, then they'll do that.
All right, I'll do it.
And use hashtags.
Dan said he trying to get in. He trying to enroll in that social media course this week, bro. We got to get Dan caught up, bro.
Yeah,
I need to be in that same course as you. Let's get it.
Hey, Dan still tight. Dan still tight like this.
Yeah, I was trying to open up my MySpace account.
Hey.
All right. Great show, gentlemen. Thank you, chat, for doing what you do and being part of our foolishness. You are what drives us and drives our nonsense, and we really appreciate that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on your way out. If you're watching the replay, we fully expect you to do that then too, and add some comments. If you have any great OnlyFans names, please list them in the comment section below. But that's going to do it for all of us here at the Final Whistle. Roll Tide.
Blow Dan's final.